best boxing podcast in the world.
Hold the cops on me, on a mission to be champs since they let me free. Prepare for combat, my adversaries crumble. Face it, I got a reputation for damage. Busters get ready to rumble. They lock me in a cell, have me trapped in a living hell. Though not guilty, I'm still in jail. Brother, I serve my time like a soldier. Maintain composure. My shadow boxing the fight to the death, busting boulders. Every boxer with a pair of gloves. Best give up love. Here's a man from the makings of a thug. A lethal weapon, mind sharp. And in my heart, there's a wish to shake the world with the flurry of my black fist. Now once a high school dropout, now I'm the $1 million champ. Who's the next to get knocked out? Straight out of Brooklyn.
What is going on, everybody? Another episode of Cheap Seats Box Show. Angelo here, running solo this week. Couple of reasons. One, me and JP couldn't get together as usual. Number two, I'm not going to be here. I'm on vacation next week, so there will be no me on the show next week. Already letting you guys know that. So first things first, follow us on Twitter at Cheap Seats Box, Apple Podcast, iTunes, rate, review. You will be the next unofficial sponsor. It's been a while, people. I could use your help. Go ahead, leave a 5-star. Tell us why you love the show, or fucking make fun of me. I don't care. Just give me 5 stars, baby. That's all I want. Subscribe on the YouTube. That's very slow. Welcome to all the listeners, all the platforms. We're on every platform known to man anymore. It seems like. So I'm gonna start backwards this week. Usually we start right at the top. Biggest fight of the weekend. We're gonna save that towards the end because I want to put all the time into that. This weekend, 2 fights that I want to talk about. Not in depth, but just so you guys can get a prediction from me. Adonis Stevenson, Badu Jack. Look, we know that everybody keeps on waiting for Adonis Stevenson to fall. I mean, shit, he's 40 years old. Give this guy credit for fucking 40 years old. It is pretty amazing that he still stays on weight all the time. He never fights, but yet he never seems to have trouble with weight. So you know he's at a natural weight. And 2, man, that left hand is fucking explosive. And his reflexes are still pretty fast. So as much as I'm rooting for Badu Jack, I mean, workman-like guy, he's gotten the most out of, I think, his talent level. He was really the man at 168 when he left it. And coming back from that Derek Edwards knockout, I mean, he really has resurrected his career. So kudos to him, but I just don't think that he's got what it takes to beat Adonis Stevenson. I mean, even at the advanced age, I think at some point he's going to hit Jack with that left hand, and I don't think that Jack has the chin to take that. I mean, we saw, the Edwards thing was a first round knockout. It happens, but I think that he is susceptible to that left, and he may be winning the fight. This may go 6-7 rounds. He may be winning the fight, but all it takes is one from Stevenson. That's how big his punch is. He's one of the most powerful punchers, pound for pound, in the world today. I'm going to go with Adonis Stevenson, 7th round stoppage over Badu Jack. But it should be pretty entertaining. I think Jack will probably actually be ahead on the scorecard. And if he doesn't ever get caught, I think that there's a good chance that that he wins this fight. But I just don't think he's going to be able to avoid that left hand for 12 rounds. And then also on Showtime, this is a split doubleheader, right? Jojo Diaz challenging Gary Russell Jr. for his WBC featherweight belt. Our annual sighting of Gary Russell Jr. This is a really, really close pick'em fight. You got the speed, the hand speed, and the quickness and the sharpness of Gary Russell, and then you have the relentlessness of a guy like Jojo Diaz. Boy, I'm going to go against what I usually do, and although leading up to this fight, I still thought, I don't know, man, I think Russell might still be a little too much for him. I think the fact that It's always been a long layoff. I mean, eventually that's going to catch up to Gary Russell. The fact that he doesn't care about the sport is going to catch up to him. And I think that it's easy to be Gary Russell when you're playing ahead, and when there's no mental pressure, when there's nothing really pushing you and making you want to go to a next level. And I think that JoJo Diaz is actually going to put so much mental and physical pressure on him that I say around round 8 you're going to see the tide turn. That could be a 5-3 fight in Russell's favor after 7. It could be a nice 5-2 lead or a 4-3 lead for Russell after like 7 rounds. But I think that 8th round, and I think you're going to see a guy like JoJo close strong on him, where Gary Russell is just not used to that much mental pressure, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. And I don't think he's going to handle it. I've talked myself into it. I'm going JoJo Diaz with a narrow 115-113 victory to claim his title and to get us rid of the Gary Russell era, if you could even call it that. I'm not going to talk about Josh Warrington and Lee Selby. I could give a fuck less about that fight. Last weekend, Devin Haney impressed against Mason Menard. A great step-up fight for especially for the age and where he's at in his career. Very similar to what Ryan Garcia did with Jason Velez a couple weeks ago. And what we saw from both guys is that there's still work to be done. That's why they're 19, and that's why they got plenty of time to do it. I will say this: you do see the difference in their 19 as compared to a guy like Shakur Stevenson, to where you're just not seeing that it factor, that wow factor where you could project him in the future to be, not necessarily a superstar, but definitely a multi-time champion, where you could see both Haney and Garcia getting there. They may have some road bumps in between those times, but you could actually project and see that in their future. Jaime Munguia, stoppage win, gets the title from Saddam Ali. And although Munguia has looked big and powerful, even leading up to this fight and in this fight, you take it with a grain of salt, because it was still Saddam Ali, and I don't give a shit if he beat and washed up, overrated Miguel Cotto, who won his title by beating Yoshihiro Kamagai. I mean, it was kind of laughable that he even had that title. I didn't place much in that victory over Cotto, and then we saw that it really didn't last long. We'll see what happens with Munguia going forward. Obviously, Saddam Ali, most likely, go back to welterweight. You weren't even that good there. Trust me, there was a murderer's row waiting for you. They were all lined up for that title. I guess the best thing that you may be able to do is to get that ran back, to get knocked out again, but to get a decent payday out of it. But other than that, I don't know what to take from it. We'll see where Munguia goes from here. Is he a guy who's going to be able to compete with guys like Jermell Charlo and Jarrett Hurd? It remains to be seen. Progression. He's a young guy. So let's get into this. Vasyl Lomachenko, 10th round stoppage over Jorge Linares to lift his lightweight belt, and in his 12th fight to get his 3rd title in a 3rd weight class. It was a great victory. There's no way around it. It was a tough fight. I wish I would at least tweeted stuff out, but I've been so busy lately that I've been minimal on anything, on podcasts, on fucking social media, all that stuff. Going into the fight, I was leaning Lomachenko, nice, tight 7-5 fight, and I think that's where that fight was going, one way or the other. Who would have predicted a stoppage win via body shot from Lomachenko? That was probably way down. If you took that prop bet, you got paid very nicely. And then there was one more thing I was thinking going into that fight. You know, that quick in and out style. You know, when Lomachenko goes into that matrix mode, what people are calling it now, where now you see him, now you don't. Where he's given angles that are almost Pacquiao-esque, but with a little bit better footwork. That Linares could be his kryptonite in the same way that Juan Manuel Marquez was for Manny Pacquiao. Somebody who's sound, a sound boxer, sound technique, a natural counter puncher, a guy who's waiting for openings to take advantage of. And I think we saw that in a lot of ways. This was just, you could see each guy going through their progressions, almost like NFL quarterbacks. You know, okay, this game plan isn't working right now. I may come back to it, but I'm going to switch to this game plan, and vice versa. And it was just a fight of adjustments. And in the end, Lomachenko had a little bit more adjustments to him, and the last one being going to that body, and he started going to the body late. I thought this fight was back and forth. A lot of close rounds. I think scoring, again, has been hijacked because people score what's prettiest. Oh, his punches look prettier when they landed than Linares. So I'm giving Lomachenko all the credit. And I saw people saying they had Lomachenko up 7-2 going into the 10th round. And it was funny because I was scoring that fight and I'm like, how the fuck did they get this 7-2? Am I just missing the fight in total? I'm like, I saw a close fight throughout. I only saw a few rounds that were really clear victories for either guy. I'll put it out there right now. I scored 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9 for Linares, and I scored 2, 4, 5, and 8 for Lomachenko. And then later on, the next day, I go back and I look at the punch stats, and I start looking round by round the punch stats, and I'm like, okay, it more leaned the way that I was looking at it. And then when you saw the official scorecards going into the 10th round, it was I had Linares up 2, one judge had him up 2, one judge had it even, and one judge had Lomachenko up 2. And I think all those scores are right in the ballpark. I have zero problem with any of those scores. I shouldn't say any of those scores. 6-3 to me is 6-3 for Lomachenko was pushing it at that point. Like I say, everybody gets caught up in how pretty something looks, and they start scoring based on, well, that looked better, and I like the way that he did it. And me, I'm just like, well, I just score what the punches I see, and is the other guy controlling or making the other guy do what they want to do. And the fact was there ring generalship on both sides? Yes. But honestly, it was a back and forth. It was a give and take. They both were doing things that they wanted to do and things that they didn't want to do. So that was kind of pretty even throughout the fight. Power-wise, I thought, again, pretty even. You could even slight edge it to Linares. I understand that Lomachenko was marking up Linares, but come on. If you're going to score Linares puffing up and cutting, then, I mean, shit, Linares there's no way he could have ever won this fight. And then when you go back and you look at, like, total punches landed in the rounds, there was only 2 rounds that Lomachenko even landed more punches at all. Except for of course, the last round. They were even in 3, and he outlanded them in 4 and 5, and I think those did. Oh no, and 8. So 3 rounds, and I thought 8 was definitely a clear round for Lomachenko. And then power shots, it was more the same. It was 3 and 4 are the only rounds besides the last that Lomachenko landed more power shots in him. But Lomachenko controlled a lot of that fight with a jab, so there was a good balance of it. Do you score the 30-something more jabs that that Lomachenko landed over the 30 more power punches that Linares landed, and that can come down to preference, So, but there needs to be some fairness. You can't just if you're giving one guy every benefit of every doubt, then your scorecard, there's really nothing besides a knockout that Lomachenko will ever be able to do that he'll lose a fight. It's kind of the Floyd factor, I have talked to people who said that in the first fight versus Maidana, that Maidana won 2 rounds. I mean, if that's the case, then there's no way in history that Floyd Mayweather would have ever lost any fight ever. Just because one thing is more crude and the other one is flashier. Effective punching is effective punching. It doesn't have to be pretty. And I think people mistake clean for that one single shot that's easy to see, rather than just something clean that lands flush on your fucking face or on your body. But either way, this was a close fight, and I think this was a great fight for Lomachenko. And if there's one thing we've learned, especially from the Salido fight, that Lomachenko is great when it comes to learning from past fights. I mean, you look at the growth from the Salido fight to the Russell fight for Lomachenko, and he grew in leaps and bounds. And I think you're going to see that moving forward for Lomachenko in the future from this Linares fight, because there was things that he did. He got dropped. He left himself open. He can't do that against bigger guys who can punch a little bit better than what he's used to. So, he'll learn from that. Also, we'll see if this is that weight class one too many. It's kind of the Mikey Garcia thing. 140 looks to be one too many. A guy like Sergey Lipinets shouldn't be that competitive, even though I don't think it was ultra competitive. It was pretty competitive. I don't think Lipinets was a skilled enough fighter to be that competitive. But size matters. Size eventually matters. But either way, man, Lomachenko from here is going to go probably to Ray Beltran after this. That's an easy in-house fight to make. He gets a second title. Mikey Garcia is going to fight Robert Easter. He's going to get a second title at lightweight. And then hopefully at some point next year that those two guys can fight to unify. Now, look, people can say whatever they want about Mikey, and I get it. He's been hypocritical. He's been talking out of both sides of his mouth. And let's be honest, Bob Arum is the same way. I mean, after the fight, he's already saying that he'll make one offer to Mikey, and if he doesn't accept it, fuck it, I'm not negotiating. So, I mean, look, it goes both ways. But in the end, if the fighters want it, it will eventually happen. If they truly want it, it will eventually happen. Now to the bad part of this fight. Why is it that every time a guy like Lomachenko wins or fights, that the comparisons have to be made on both sides? Well, look, Mikey would do this to him. Well, he'd do this to Mikey, or whatever. And Mikey is like the new go-to guy for Lomachenko lovers and haters, for both. And I've said it from the beginning. I still favor Mikey. This fight did nothing to change my mind. Mikey is a much, much, much stronger puncher than Linares. And I think he catches Loma with some of them punches. He could have a couple more knockdowns, but there will be more cumulative damage where he won't be able to do, a lot of that stuff. And I think Linares did minimize some of that matrix maneuvering with, hitting him with big combos at points just to kind of stop things. That straight right in the 6 slowed things down. And that's where you give kudos to Lomachenko, because then he's like, all right, well, I got to regroup. He regrouped in 7. I gave that one to Linares. Regrouped, had a great 8th round. And then Linares' last stand to me was the 9th round. I thought he won that fairly easily and fairly convincingly. It was a pretty easy round to score. He had that one. And then Lomachenko made one more adjustment after that and went to the body, hit him with combinations, hit him to the liver, and stopped him. It was a thing of beauty. You really can't do anything but praise that kind of performance. But can we stop with all this fucking comparison shit? Please. Please. If these guys fight, it's going to be a great fight. If not, whatever. But just because Lomachenko won, you ain't got to hate on Mikey. And just because Lomachenko beat somebody you thought would beat him doesn't mean you got to hate on Lomachenko and pump up Mikey by doing it. That shit just gets old. And I kind of fell into it a little bit. But, when I retweeted the size matters thing, because honestly, I think it does. But at that point, it was like, well, this is about Lomachenko. He had a great victory. Let's just leave it at that. Why can't I leave it at that? Why can't we get to this point to where we just judge fights individually based on what we saw? We don't have to compare that shit to the next one. It's like, man, if you're a Lomachenko hater, just stop. Jesus Christ. Just say, you know what? Great win by him. He's not my favorite fighter, but I mean, you got to respect what he does. People can't leave it at that. No, they fuck Lomachenko. He sucks, and Mikey's gonna whip his ass, and all this other bullshit. And then on the other side, you got the Lomachenko lovers. Is like, he can't do anything wrong. He won 7 rounds in that fight. No, he didn't. If he did, you're a fanboy, just like fucking Floyd fans, just like Canelo fans. You're just fanboys. Stop the bullshit. Lomachenko haters, you can let go of the Salido win. Also, Lomachenko lovers, you can let go of the Salido loss. It's okay. The only reason that Lomachenko lost was because he fucking lost. That's why. Yeah, but Salido was bigger. Okay, well, that's true. He could have not fought that fight. Nobody forced him to. Nobody forced him to fight Salido in his second fight. That was his doing. That was him being a diva coming into this thing. And he's pulled back on the diva thing a little bit. But let's be honest. He was looking to get a little hometown cooking, begging for low blows. There was one major low blow. It's funny because they complained about low blows, and even Tim Bradley's like, nah, I haven't seen any low blows. Linares got warned for 2 that I thought were right on the belt that Lomachenko didn't even react to, so they weren't that low. And then when he finally did hit him low, the referee didn't see it. It was kind of just a weird thing. We've seen that. Look, it's gamesmanship. I get it. But the reason that Salido fight went on was because that's what Lomachenko wanted. Nobody forced him into it, so he doesn't get a pass. He would have just, guess what? That title went vacant. Guess what? He got to fight for it anyway the next fight. He could have easily just did that. But he needed that Salido fight because he learned a lot from that. And he lost. Why? Because he lost. Linares was bigger than him right now in this fight. He won. Same thing. There's no difference. He was bigger. You knew going into it. You went up in weight for this fight. You knew he was going to be bigger than you. And he was. And yes, Vince, I did see. I was like you. I saw the acne on the back and all over the arms and everything. Very noticeable to me. Hey, kudos to Lomachenko for getting past all that. But the one thing I will not stand for is any disparaging words to the greatest Mexican legend of all time, Orlando Salido. And if you guys didn't see it, he got arrested for stealing cans of beer. No, I didn't read the article. I didn't need to, because I knew what happened in my head, and I didn't need the facts to get in the way of a great story. So if you guys want to know what happened, here's what happened to me. This is what happened. Orlando Salido, legend Mexican boxer. Even Julio Cesar Chavez bows to him. He's that much of a fucking legend. Does construction on his own house, drives Uber, steals beer. I mean, come on. He's the fucking man. Beat Lomachenko, the world's greatest boxer of all time. So, after a hard day of driving Uber, Orlando Salido pulls into a Mexican liquor store. And in the liquor store, there's some young Mexican hipster in there watching ESPN Deportes is on, got the Lomachenko fight on. Salido walks in, sees it, kind of gives it a psst. That's a Mexican word. You guys know it. If you guys are Mexican, you know what that word means. Gets his 18-pack of Natty Lights, because in my head it's Natural Lights, because that's the most Mexican beer of all time, especially in America. I don't give a shit if he's in Mexico. He passed on the Pacifico. He passed on the Corona de Tecate. He passed on all that shit, on the Sol, all that other crap beer. He passed on all of it. Grabbed the 18-pack of Natty Lights. Hipster Kid was talking about how this guy Lomachenko is one of the greatest boxers of all time. My favorite boxer. You know, if he was here right now, he could have any 6-pack in this store, and I wouldn't even charge it for him. I'd just let him walk out of the store. So Siri Salido hearing that, grabs that 18-pack, starts walking out. The kid says, "What are you doing?" Siri looks at him and says, "I'm Siri Salido, the guy who beat that motherfucker." Walks out of the store, and then the kid calls the cops. Not because he stole the beer. He called the cops because he beat his hero. That's what happened, guys. And trust me, when the cops arrested him, they just laughed. They just dropped him off at home with his 18-pack. That's what really happened. You don't fuck with my boy Siri Salido. He is my hero. Legend. Never, don't ever get that shit twisted. And I don't want to hear about missing weight and all that bullshit and possible PEDs. All lies. All lies. He would have did a hair test, but he's bald. He would have cleared his name. So if anybody asks you what happened in that Siri Salido case with the stolen beer, you just refer them to this show. Now, that's probably nothing of what happened, but in my head, that's what happened. And it's so much better in my head than it was in whatever the actual facts of the case are. In my book, Siri Salido can walk into any liquor store in Mexico and walk out with any 18-pack of Natty Lights he wants. They're on me. I'll pay the fee. You hear that, Salido? You send the bill to me and I got you, buddy. All right, we're going to cut it off there. JP may or may not give you a show this week. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. But he will give you one next week because I'm not going to be there. I want to be on the beach, so fuck it. And you guys, I'm sorry. I love all the listeners, but I got a date with my wife on the beach and some beers and some drinking, some seafood, baby. We're going to get this shit done. All right. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at Cheap Seats Box, iTunes, rate, review. You will be next unofficial sponsor. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. People, help keep putting this show over the top. The 4th best in the motherfucking world in the ratings. That's right. Don't got nobody pushing this show but the listeners. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. Biggest podcast platform in the world, Apple Podcasts. We are number 4 when you search boxing. We are number 7 on TuneIn, like number 6 on what's that old one? I don't even know if people even use that shit anymore. I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Why can't I remember? Anyway, we're on top 10 in every fucking platform except YouTube. That's why I need you guys to subscribe. Go ahead, do that. You'll be next official sponsor. We appreciate everybody who listens, man. Thank y'all. And until then, this is where the fighters fight and the fans commentate. And you know we do it just like that from the cheap seats because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace. Viva Salido, bitches.
Again, I'll be the next heavyweight champion. Call me crazy, but no one can fake me. I'm the product of the projects. Get crazy, throw your hands up. Mr. Bruno, ride. Big Mike Tyson about to brutalize that ass tonight. No hesitation for the whole nation. I'll beat that ass so bad I'll probably violate probation. Through demonstration as I strategize information.